Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the second part of French Revolution which we had covered in the earlier class. Before moving further into the chapter, let us first take a quick revision about what we had read in the earlier class. First, we started with some of the basic terms that have been used in the chapter. That is, we first came to know what is old regime, which has been mentioned. Second concept that we had learnt about the chapter is concept of subsistence crisis that we had learnt. The third concept that we had learnt is the role of growing middle class, which was very much receptive to the new ideas that were being sprawling up in the France. Then we moved on to the formation of National Assembly. We come to the incidents of Estates General Meeting. Then we move to Tennis Court Oath. Then we move on to the incident storming of Bastille, which has been mentioned in the very first page of the book. Then we move on to France becoming a constitutional monarchy. When we talk about constitutional monarchy, we must remember that here we are referring to two concepts that we have to reassemble to understand this concept. First is we are using the term constitution. Whenever we use this term, we always mean that we have to abide by some laws, some rules, some regulations, right? Now, how can a monarch remember or learn to obey some laws or obey certain rules and regulations? For this purpose only, we are referring to a process of election that was followed up in France by dividing the population into two parts. There were some people who were categorized as active citizens and there were some people who were categorized as passive citizens. The, the qualification for active citizen was that first of all you have to be a male, age 25 years and above, and you have to belong to the category of being a taxpayer, whereas women, elderly and children all were placed below in the category of passive citizens. This was the criteria which was followed for voting. Now here, while we had studied in the earlier class about the voting pattern, we must also remember that we had followed a quite indirect way of voting. Like, first of all, the active citizens will choose electors. Then from these electors we will sort 745 members which will form legislative assembly. And these active citizens were also at the same time given the role of electing the judiciary, whereas the king and his ministers were kept at the post of being an executive. So this condition which was prevailing in France was quite different from other countries of Europe. And as I had told you earlier, one of the very famous personalities had remarked about France that whenever France sneezes, rest of the Europe catches cold. So a major change was taking place over here. What was the change? That it has now agreed to become a constitutional monarchy. Moving on further, constitutional monarchy could not function quite smoothly for a longer period of time. The reason being that the monarchs of other European countries also sought to refute these ideas that how can this king accept to be abided by some of the laws. So they start a secret negotiation with the kings of Prussia and Austria, and the French monarch along with them starts planning some of the strategies against this National Assembly. But before they could take a step further, National Assembly gets to know that there is some kind of conspiracy which was going on, and this kind of conspiracy could not be hidden for long. So it urged or it started a feeling of nationalism, a sense of national unity among the French citizens, wherein we will see the use of some of the patriotic songs that were sung during that time for uprising the nationalist sentiments in the people. Like one of the commonly sung songs for arising these sentiments were Marseillaise, which was composed by Roger T. Isle. Later it also became the national anthem of France. This condition which we are studying or revising has been condition of mostly the cities and towns. But what happens when we move to the countryside? In the countryside, people were unaware of the changing circumstances and the planning to remove the king. There, revolution meant that we had to bring in some change. What change? What will benefit them? How is it beneficial for them? Was something very different matter. But for them, the first priority was that we had to bring in some kind of change. So what happens is, in the countryside, some of the political clubs becomes an important rallying point where people comes in together in groups. They start discussion upon something or the other, and upon discussion they have a conclusion that yes, if we want to replace a king, we want someone who is a common man, who is just like a common man, who understands our problem more clearly than the higher authorities. So here, with the political clubs sprawling up and beginning to start, Jacobin clubs became one of the very important political clubs of the scenario. Who leads Jacobin clubs? A personality named Maximilian Robespierre starts leading these Jacobin clubs, which were political clubs based on discussion, debates, political talks, meeting grounds each day. Particularly, these clubs were mainly joined by people who belonged to lower classes. The reason for this is very simple, that there was no other representative form in which lower classes could represent themselves. So they start representing or seeing themselves in the eyes of these Jacobin clubs. So the dressing pattern of these Jacobin clubs was kept quite simple, like the royalty wore knee breeches, and the pattern of dressing sense which was adopted by these Jacobin clubs was those without knee breeches, and these were striped pants known as saints culottes. So pants for males and skirts for females. This was a kind of division which was given. Now, why did Maximilian Robespierre chose this style as a group identity for the Jacobin clubs? The reason was that it was a common demand of people, that we do not want someone who is higher than us. And in fact, being higher does not only symbolizes your class, but it also symbolizes a difference of opinion. So he did not want anyone to feel him as a different person. So he made the clothes or the dressing pattern such which could symbolize with the common man. And these pants or saints culottes or striped cloth material was generally worn by dock workers who worked on the ships. So this was the kind of pattern which was followed during this time. Now what happens is, while we move further, in the summer of 1792, what happens is, the king and his guards were taking a hostage at Palace of Tuileries. Now, the Jacobins planned an insurrection of these all members, and first of all, first step which they took in this month was that they started holding hostage the king's guard. When they started holding them hostage, what happens is, now the king is left unguarded and he is now open to violence. Anyone can violate the laws and anyone can attack him at any point of time. The guards were executed, and the king was himself kept as an hostage for a certain period of time, for a certain while. जब राजा को बंदी बनाया गया, इस पूरी सिचुएशन में उसके जो गार्ड्स थे, उसके गार्ड्स ऑलरेडी ही एग्जीक्यूट हो चुके थे. द किंग इज नाउ लेफ्ट विद नथिंग टू प्रोटेक्ट हिम. अब उसके पास कुछ भी नहीं था कि कोई भी पर्सन उसको प्रोटेक्ट कर सके. Further, what happens is, when this happens, the king along with his wife Marie Antoinette was made as the hostage. जब उनको बंदी बनाया गया, तो obviously now France has nothing to rule. So what they decide is that from now on we will have a fresh election dissolving the old structure of constitutional monarchy, and they starts about making France into a republican form of government. So what we see, that during this time, France was becomes a republic. First of all, let us understand the meaning of the term republic. Republic here refers to where the head of the government is an elected representative. So when we will start making France into a republic, what we will first abolish? We will abolish the system of constitutional monarchy which was followed. And with the coming up of Maximilian Robespierre, the voting rights will be granted to first males above 21 years of age only. Second criteria, regardless of your wealth. And on 21st of September, France holds election, chose Maximilian Robespierre as their leader, and the next step which is taken is that this republic is given the name Convention. So in 1792, 21st September, this step is taken that a republican form of government is chosen wherein people will be given rights, but not all the people. Here we are not talking about universal adult suffrage. Here we are talking about only males being given voting rights who are about 21 years of age regardless of their wealth. So France becomes a republic. The next term that we are going to study here is that while the king was kept as a hostage, along with the king, shortly while the republican form of government was chosen, Maximilian Robespierre at the same time ordered for the execution of the king and his wife. So between this time only they were kept as hostage, and after that they were executed. When they were executed, this convention begins its rule. So the period from 1793 to 1794, this 1 year duration is called as Reign of Terror. What is reign? Reign simply means, it generally refers to when we are studying about the duration of king's rule. But here reign simply symbolizes how much time or the duration between which Maximilian Robespierre ruled. So the tenure of 1 year is recorded as Reign of Terror, right? Why this is recorded as Reign of Terror? He followed severe policy of punishment first. Severe policy of punishment was followed. The second, what policies were followed? The churches were converted into barracks or offices. The second change which was brought about during this time was that all were supposed to eat wheat bread, or it was called as equality bread. Next change, meat and other commodities were rationed. Instead of sir and madam, the term citoyen and citoyenne were used. This simply means that we are now referring to the people as simple citizens, not as sir or madam, just to give them a respect. Moreover, the changes which were brought about during this time were so harsh and repressive that people of his own party could not resist these changes. So, what they did were, during this reign of terror, along with these policies, if anyone tried to oppose Maximilian Robespierre, he was simply executed through a guillotine machine. What is a guillotine machine? It was invented by Dr. Guillotine, in which there were two poles, and on both the poles there were blades. On both the opposite poles there were blades, and your head was kept under those poles with blades. If found if you are found repressing his policies or going against him, you were simply put your head was simply put into those blades and it was beheaded. You were beheaded, means your body and your head were separated through that machine. So this was invented by Dr. Guillotine, and this policy was followed by Maximilian Robespierre, but since his party members also did not accept these changes very readily, since they were very harsh to accept at that time, so he himself, after the duration of 1 year completion, he himself was sent to that guillotine machine and later on guillotined. Alright, when we lose Maximilian Robespierre, France is now again left with no government. So now what will change the system? Here the system will change with the coming up of directory, and hence we call it directory rules France. What was this directory made up of? The earlier wealthier section who have not yet got the chance to rule, other else all the people have some way or the other got the chance by so many systems changing. The wealthier middle class had did not got any representation. उन लोगों के पास अब मौका था कि वो अपनी पावर को कैसे असर्ट करना स्टार्ट करते हैं. तो यहाँ पर जो वोटिंग पैटर्न अब चेंज होता है वो ये था कि इलेक्शंस के थ्रू दो इलेक्टेड बॉडीज चुनी जाती हैं जो थी लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स. And these were two in number. These both the bodies were elected bodies, out of which 5 members were taken out separately, who were called as directory or were given the role and responsibility of being an executive, right? So how could executives and legislative bodies perform their function? Legislature का काम basically होता है law making का. अगर हम सिंपल लीगल टर्म्स में बात करें तो लेजिस्लेचर का काम है लॉ मेकिंग का, वेयर एज द रोल ऑफ एग्जीक्यूटिव इज टू एग्जीक्यूट दीज लॉज. जब ये एग्जीक्यूट करेगा तो डेफिनेट सी बात है कि इन दोनों में और इन 5 मेंबर्स को जिनको अलग निकाल कर एग्जीक्यूटिव का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शेयर कराई गई है, इन दोनों में आपस में कोऑर्डिनेशन होना कंपलसरी था, नेसेसरी था. बट दीज पीपल ऑफन केप्ट ऑन क्लैशिंग विद ईच अनदर, और इनकी क्लैश की वजह से ये जो डायरेक्टरी का रूल था जो 5 एग्जीक्यूटिव से मिलकर बन रही थी, ये रूल बहुत लंबे टाइम तक नहीं चल पाता, जिसकी वजह से व्हाट वी सी अ चेंज इज दैट नाउ अ न्यू way is sought out, a new way is paved out after the collapse of this directory. And now France will move into the hands of Napoleon Bonaparte, who was a military dictator, who was quite from a longer time waiting to gain access and control towards this nation, right? we had missed a very important section in this chapter. We did not talk about women's revolution. Women's revolution here refer to that when we are talking about all the citizens being active or passive, did women have a revolution in France? Yes, of course they did have a revolution. But during the reign of terror, during this 1 year tenure, there were maximum closure of women's club. Earlier, there were around 60 independent women clubs which were formed. But during this reign of terror, all those clubs were shut down. Political clubs were shut down. Moreover, the women of third estate particularly belonged to the lower class and worked as servants in the people's home of the first and the second estate classes. So ये जो थर्ड एस्टेट की जितनी महिलाएं थीं जो डिप्राइव्ड थीं जो पुअर थीं, ये जनरली फर्स्ट और सेकंड एस्टेट के फैमिलीज में वर्क करने के लिए जाती थी. और जो इनको ऑक्यूपेशन, सिंस दे वर नॉट एजुकेटेड वेल इनफ, तो इनको ऑक्यूपेशन इनकी हैसियत के हिसाब से या इनकी क्वालिफिकेशन के हिसाब से मिल रही थी. जैसे they were given the job of vending or selling vegetables, or they were somewhere or the other associated with laundry work, or they were seamstresses. So these were the kind of jobs which were given. The women of first or second estate were given the opportunity to read or to become educated enough, but after that, after they had gained access to education, they were married after that. थर्ड एस्टेट की वुमेन को एक तो एजुकेशन के लिए तो एक्सेस था ही नहीं, दूसरा मैरिड एट अ वेरी अर्ली एज, सो दे डिड नॉट हैव एनी एक्सपोजर टू द पब्लिक लाइफ. बट उनका जो रेवोल्यूशन था, उनका रेवोल्यूशन चेंज हुआ बीच बीच में इन शॉर्टर ड्यूरेशंस ऑफ टाइम. तो उनका जब रेवोल्यूशन हुआ, सो व्हाट वर द चेंजेस व्हिच वर मेड थ्रू दैट रेवोल्यूशन. सबसे पहली चीज, वहां पर मैरिज को कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर दिया गया. दिस वाज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट स्टेप व्हिच वाज टेकन बाय कन्वर्टिंग मैरिज इनटू अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिटवीन बोथ द मेल्स एंड द फीमेल्स. The first step which was taken. The second step which was taken was marriage was made into a contract. Second, education was made compulsory. Third, divorce was made legal. And now, since they were starting to gain education, it's opened up new horizons for their occupation, wherein training was required. So women did have a very important role in this changing revolution, or in this time when France was going through an upheaval. Moreover, Maximilian Robespierre times during reign of terror, women clubs were closed down. Alright, this is one of the major changes. One of the important revolutionary that we had to study about here is, the information is given in the box. Olympe de Gouges, who was a woman revolutionary, gave a pamphlet or a declaration stating Declaration of the rights of women and citizen. Alright, here another section which is we have not talked of about till here is the abolition of slavery. What is slavery? हम slavery generally गुलामी को बोलते हैं. फ्रांस के अंदर गुलामी किस तरीके से होती थी? Generally slavery was carried on through a slave triangle. एक slave triangle चलता था जिस slave triangle में 3 देश involved थे. On the one hand we had people from Africa who were called as Negroes. On the other hand we had European countries. We are here referring to France. And on the other hand we had America. Here a slave triangle was followed. गुलामी का एक ट्रायंगल चलता था 3 देशों के बीच में, अफ्रीका, यूरोप में फ्रांस और अमेरिका के बीच में. नीग्रोस जो होते हैं वो जनरली ट्राइबल पीपल हैं who are willing to work harder, plus they were fooled around. उन लोगों को फूल करके एज एन फॉर्म ऑफ एंडेंजर्ड लेबरर की तरीके से हायर किया जाता था, शिप्स में भरकर उनको जगह जगह पर सप्लाई किया जाता था. कहाँ पर सप्लाई करते थे? इनकी ज़रूरत सबसे ज़्यादा थी प्लांटेशन वर्क्स में. Why? First of all, hard working, and the second reason was could be bargained for wages. तो बेसिकली ये लो वेजेस का काम करते थे, प्लस नंबर ऑफ वर्किंग आवर्स जो थे वो बहुत ज़्यादा थे. तो अफ्रीका से इन लोगों को पकड़कर लाया जाता था. फ्रांस के 2 पोर्ट्स थे, बर्डियॉक्स और नैंटीज. ये 2 पोर्ट्स के नाम हैं जहाँ पर इन लोगों को सप्लाई किया जाता था. And these people from these ports of Burdiox and Nantes were supplied to America, right? So the movement of African who were called as Negroes traveled from Africa to Europe. यूरोप से उनको सप्लाई किया जाता था अमेरिका में. ठीक है, जब ये स्लेव ट्रायंगल चल रहा था तो इस स्लेव ट्रायंगल को नो डाउट मैक्सिमिलियन रॉबेस्पियर ने अपने टाइम पर और नेशनल असेंबली जब थी उस टाइम पर इसको बंद करवा दिया था. बट जब नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट वापस आया रूल पर मिलिट्री डिक्टेटर के फॉर्म में, तो इन्हीं वापस से ये जो अफ्रीकन नीग्रोस थे इनको वापस से एक स्लेव ट्रायंगल में लाकर और स्लेवरी को रीइंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था इन फ्रांस. फाइनली दिस स्लेवरी वाज एबॉलिश्ड in 1848, much later when we are studying. काफी समय के बाद इस स्लेवरी को बंद किया गया था फाइनली. So this was a kind of slave triangle which was followed from Africa to both the important nation. और यहाँ पर इनका selling और buying लोगों की होती थी and they were just simply loaded into ships or containers like earlier herds of animals were also loaded. उसी तरीके से इंसानों को भी पैक करके लाया जाता था. कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल बेस का लेबर था. बट मेनी ऑफ द पीपल नेवर रिटर्न बैक. कि आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इतने समय का है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खत्म होने के बाद यू कैन रिटर्न बैक टू योर होम टाउन. बट they never returned, plus they were also given at the same time assurance of doing a good work and getting higher wages, better living conditions. So most of the people who agreed to do this labor were the people who wanted to just fly away from the acute crisis of poverty which were prevalent in the country. So the major task of these people was to fool around, take them from their home and put them in certain restrictions and places where they could not never return back. The revolution was also carried out in everyday life. This is also an important revolution. हम जब everyday life की बात कर रहे हैं तो हमारे सबसे पहली चीज़ जो हमारे दिमाग में आनी चाहिए वो ये है कि हम everyday life में information का transfer from one to another people or through one medium to another medium is very important. जब हम ट्रांसफ़र की बात करें तो यहाँ पर किसी भी तरह की सेंसरशिप नहीं लगी हुई होनी चाहिए, किसी भी तरह की रोक नहीं लगी हुई होनी चाहिए. जबकि ओल्ड रेजिम के टाइम पर ये सेंसरशिप चलती थी कि ऑल द प्रिंटेड मटेरियल, पैम्फलेट्स हो, बुक्स हो, न्यूज़पेपर्स हो, व्हाटएवर आर्टिकल्स कुड बी पब्लिश्ड, सारी चीज़ों के ऊपर एक रोक थी. दैट व्हाटएवर कुड बी पब्लिश्ड इन ऑल दीज प्रिंटेड फॉर्म वर only the material which were approved by the nobility or the clergy. ओल्ड रेजिम के जाने के बाद, खत्म होने के बाद, ये सारी सेंसरशिप जो थी ये हटा दी थी. द फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेप दैट वाज टेकन वाज सेंसरशिप ऑन प्रेस वाज रिमूव्ड. प्लस सेंसरशिप का ये भी मतलब होता है एट द सेम टाइम कि आप लोगों के थॉट्स को कंस्ट्रेन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, आप लोगों के थॉट्स को रोकने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. मीन्स यू डू नॉट हैव फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन. सो व्हेन दिस सेंसरशिप वाज डिसअबैंडन्ड, इस सेंसरशिप के बाद लोगों ने अपने थॉट्स को जाया करना स्टार्ट किया थ्रू writing books, through paintings, through literature, through various visual forms they could do so. So the revolution in everyday life had a very great impact on the lives of people, and now people started realizing that they are free from the constrictions which were earlier laid upon them. Finally moving towards the chapter, फ्रांस की रेवोल्यूशन एक इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट रेवोल्यूशन रही है वर्ल्ड की हिस्ट्री में, जिसने ना सिर्फ फ्रांस के रेवोल्यूशनरीज को इंस्पायर किया है, रादर we also have many revolutionaries from India also who were inspired by its revolution. Like हमारे पास नाम आता है टीपू सुल्तान का, हमारे पास नाम आता है राजा राम मोहन रॉय का, जो फ्रांस की रेवोल्यूशन से बहुत ज़्यादा इंस्पायर्ड थे. प्लस हम नेपोलियन बोनापार्ट का रोल इस चैप्टर में यहीं तक पढ़ते हैं. बट वन इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वी नीड टू नो इज, जब वो फ्रांस को रूल कर रहे थे तो उन्होंने एक सिस्टम चलाया था जो उनके अंडर रहा, सिविल कोड ऑफ 1804 विच इज ऑल्सो नोन एज नेपोलियनिक कोड, जिसके अंडर उन्होंने यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम ऑफ वेट, मेजर, रिस्ट्रिक्शन, करेंसी के ऊपर रिस्ट्रिक्शन, वट एवर द रिस्ट्रिक्शंस वर एबॉलिश्ड, और एक यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम फॉलो किया जाने लग गया था. तो फ्रांस की रेवोल्यूशन का एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इम्पैक्ट रहा, ना सिर्फ उस पर्टिकुलर कंट्री पर और उस कॉन्टिनेंट पर, रादर all the other nations who were aspiring to gain independence from some or the other kind of rule were highly motivated with this kind of revolution. So that is it for the French Revolution. We will continue again in the next chapter.